Well, hello everyone. I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a live paper crafting class on Friday, June 12th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's when I'm coming to you live. I'm so happy to see that people are already talking in the chat. This is so great. So that means that you're all here ready to go. We have a kit that you voted on Wednesday when I did my live paper crafting class that afternoon. I gave the choice between two kits and 70% chose this one. So we're going with the Shaded Petals kit. And I had to make multiples. I'm sorry, but there's just a lot of elements to this kit that don't need to be all just on 3 cards. So we spread it out. We're taking the supplies for 3 of the different kinds of cards. So 1, 2, 3, there's 3 different cards on here and 3 of each, but we're gonna take the supplies from 1, 2, and 3 for 1 of each card. And we're gonna spread them out. We're gonna cut them up, divide them out, and we're gonna make 10 cards out of 3. Okay, if you did this with the whole kit, you would get 30 cards instead of 9 from one kit. Now, if you're going to cut the envelopes, which is what we're doing, then you'll also need extra envelopes. So let's go down to the desktop real quick. And I have to apologize. I am not as prepared with my blog, like my blog post is not ready at all. I finally finished the cards today. We are prepping for a huge garage sale that we have every year. It's an annual garage sale, and it's with multiple crafters, multiple Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. We're all still active. We're not getting out of the business. We're selling our retired products, and that is happening in next week on Wednesday and Thursday in just a few days. And so because of that, my husband and I, we have to get the garage ready. We have to get all the tables set up. We have to get everything labeled so that when people start bringing their things to us to drop off, they can put them on the appropriate tables. And so we've been busy doing that. And I'm so sorry that I don't have my blog post done. But once we're done in the garage tonight, I'm coming indoors, getting out of the bugs, and we are going to finish that blog post so that you can get a link to that blog post within the description of the video. Right now, there's no link in there. There's no products listed, but just know that there's very few products that we're using. And I promise that I'll get all of that stuff in there hopefully by tonight, and the blog post will go live tomorrow. Okay? So Australia's in the house with us, Illinois, Michigan. This is so awesome. Thank you all for letting me know where you're from, how the weather's doing, if you got this kit or not. I love that. There was another comment that someone shared. Now I can't think of what it was. Oh, Black, I think it was Kelly. Yeah, Kelly Stallworth. She said, now I need to stock up on either more black or early espresso. We're using early espresso cardstock. So what other supplies besides this kit do we need? Again, we're going to take the supplies from 1 of each of these, turn 3 cards into 10. And you have in your kit your consumable supplies. You actually get 3 times as many of this, but I'll show you this in a minute. You get ink, even though there's no stamps, but you get ink, and you get daubers to go with the ink spots. There are words that are punch-out words for this. You get adhesives, 4 different kinds of adhesives. You got your dimensional minis, your strips, your dots, and your tape. And then you get, let's see here. That's it for the kit. Remember, 3 times as many. I'm gonna bring that back in a minute. Okay, so what else do we need? We need early espresso. Okay, early espresso is what we're gonna do to create bases for our cards. And then we need extra envelopes because we're gonna cut up the envelopes from the kit because those envelopes are pretty and they should be used as designer paper instead. Texas is here and Oregon's here and Pennsylvania. Awesome, you guys. And then we need some extra words because remember I said that there is no stamp set in this kit. There's 2 inks, but no stamp set. And the inks go with the daubers so that we can create colorful flowers that have some patterning to them, some texture to them, some, different variances. Just, we can be artsy with it. So these are the 3 things that you'll need. You'll need envelopes, extra cardstock, and I recommend early espresso, and then you'll need some words. I'm pulling in this stamp set because I just got it. It's called Wild Bunch. It's a $5 stamp set with a $75 order this month. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow, if you also place a $75 order, you can get free shipping. So $75 worth of product. Let's say you got to get the kit, some adhesives, things like that. And it adds up to 75. Then you can add this on for 5 and you get free shipping. Ta-da, so awesome. So this stamp set, I'm only going to be using the words from it, but you could instead grab a different stamp set that has similar size words or whatever, or you can adjust the sizes because of the sheet that we're going to use for stamping those words. You could use ephemera words. You could handwrite words. You could have wordless cards, just note cards with no sentiments on them. Doesn't matter. So I'm just recommending this one because it's $5. It's only $5 in the US. I'm sharing US pricing. Okay, now let's put these back over here for a minute. I am going to use my Highland Heather and Calypso Coral inks, even though we get them with the kit, but I just like to use my bigger pads in the videos. And then I'm gonna keep these because I already have some daubers that I have pre-assigned to those colors in my stash. So I'm gonna pull those in instead and just hang on to these for other colors that I wanna use later. The kit does come with adhesives, like I mentioned, but we might go through a lot more because we're more than tripling the cards in the kit. So I am bringing in some extra dimensionals. I'm gonna bring in some tape like this because it's faster than this tear and tape. And I'm also gonna be using glue dots from here because they're a little bit faster to use than this, because on this you have to peel out the back and blah, blah. Anyways, I'm just using faster adhesives. And one more adhesive that I'm going to be using is my multi-purpose liquid glue, which I have put into the precision tip bottle. I know a lot of you know that about me. I like that. Okay, as far as tools go, I'll be using the trimmer. I'll be using a scissors, a bone folder, and grid paper. That's it, you guys. There's hardly anything. We're really not adding a lot. This is a third of the kit. These are the supplies for a third of the kit. I'll show those to you. Let me put these over here for now. I saw someone say, can you share more about your garage sale? If you go to my blog and you scroll down in a blog post to the very bottom where there's a promotional area, talks about all the different specials going on. There is one that is associated with the garage sale. It's in Andover, Minnesota, but the exact location, the times, all the information for the garage sale can be found in the promotions area of my blog posts, okay? Also, I recommend getting on my newsletter list. So again, if you go to my website, which is stampyourartout.com, click on the home drop-down menu and there's a button that says subscribe, and then you'll get newsletters that give you updates and promotions and things like that, announcements when there's free shipping, so that if you want to come to my garage sale next summer, you can plan ahead because I start announcing it in the spring. And yeah, all right, we'll get that off the screen there. If you have questions, make sure that I see them. So if I miss them, at this point, I don't see any other questions, but if I missed your question, then please go ahead and enter it again. We don't have Trisha with us tonight. I'm on my own, so I'm going to try to answer any questions as we go. I love it how you guys find each other in the same areas or same states. Oh, I live there. Who else lives there? And it's so fun to read your comments. Okay, this is a good one, you guys. So early espresso, I do like to use black and white for my bases, but I softened it a little bit and I used early espresso. Okay, let's go through the kit supplies. Again, this is a third of the kit. We have 3 envelopes, 1 for each card. We have 3 bases, 1, 2, 3. And then we have the items that go on those cards. We have a whole sheet of floral pieces. We have a whole sheet of florals and a circular frame. And we have a couple more flowers and a rectangular frame on this piece. Then on this one, we have some punch-out leaves. We have a couple layers that have kind of gold foiling on them. And then we have a sheet of words. Now we have lots of words on here, so you certainly can use all the words if you speak all the languages and the people that you're sending these cards to would understand them. So that's one way to get a ton of words. But I'm going to focus on best wishes, thank you, and happy birthday. And then I'm going to bring in other words. These rectangles here, 1, 2, 3, that are in my non-language, so I think there's French, German, anyways, I'm not sure. Sorry about the loud noise. But we have 3 other languages on here. And those words are on gold foiling. And so we're going to use those as little layers where we're covering up the actual word part, but we're going to have the gold foil edges. And then we have flower centers down here, little kind of tiny flower bits. I'm leaving the door open, but maybe I should shut it. It's kind of, there's a lot of loud people on the street tonight as far as like driving. This is when everybody comes out, Friday night. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside because I do have some pieces already cut and ready to go. And I think we'll start with cutting card bases. Birch Bay Blaine, Washington State, love it. It's an amazing stamp set, yes. So if you don't have this, you should get it anyways just because of the cute little creatures on there. But again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words in there, $5, right? It's like $1 a word. That's pretty cheap. So let's say you got it just to supplement your kits. We're gonna score down the middle. So we have an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock here. 8.5, half of that is 4 1/4. So I brought this edge, this left edge, to the 4 1/4 inch mark on my trimmer. And I'm gonna use my light blade, which I've marked with the word score, to press a line through the center. That's going to run a little bendy line in there, okay? I've also made sure that my cardstock is flush with the top. You're gonna rotate it in this direction. I'm just gonna show you really quick. Can you see that little line in there? It's already scored. We're gonna rotate it in this direction. Half of 11 is 5.5. So we're gonna bring our cardstock to the 5.5 mark. And we're gonna use the dark blade now, the one that's not labeled. We're gonna cut our paper in half. So now we have 2 different card bases here, ready to go. This one, I'm just gonna score a little bit differently. I am going to score at 4 1/4, like we just did. We're doing 2 at a time, smart, right? And then we're gonna score at 2 1/8, which is half of 4 1/4. We'll rotate this and cut it 5.5 to get 2 more card bases. And then we'll need to make 3 more sheets cut into 6 more card bases, so that we have 10 card bases altogether. But let's first take and work with these. These are all gonna get scored at the halfway spot here, just to make them nice and sharp creases. And then these will also get scored backward to make Z-fold cards. Z-fold cards are so easy. They're an easy fun fold that allow you to see both the outside of the card when it's closed and the outside when it's open. It's so cool, you guys. So if you are new to card making, learn the Z-fold card right away. It's an awesome, simple fun fold card that impresses. So you can see here, if I put something on this layer and I open the card, it's going to remain on this layer, and you'll see that as we go. So I've got 2 of each of those, and then I also have some that are already done. I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 more of the Z folds. So now I have 6 Z folds and 2 more of these, 4 of the regular. So 6 plus 4 is 10 card bases. I'm just gonna put them all over in this corner so they're ready to roll, and I'm gonna show you the cards now, okay? Just in case you didn't see the graphic before the live video started, we're gonna walk through what the cards are gonna look like when they're finished, okay? So we have, and I'm gonna zoom in because it's kind of far away. All right, so we have this one here. This one is a Z fold. Here's another Z fold. And another. This is card number 4. Then we come to these, and they're all very similar. So those are all our Z folds right in the middle. Isn't that cool how you open it up and the front stays showing? I love Z folds. And then we have these, which are just the regular folds. 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with this card and recreate it. So we need to take a regular card base, and we're going to cut our envelope from our kit so that we're removing this flap. So you're just going to start on this side, line up the color difference right in the channel of the trimmer, and you're gonna trim it, okay? Like that. You're gonna have to purchase the kit. I know, I'm so sorry. And you know what, Marie, you're not too late. Okay, then after you've cut that off, we have the flap off. Now we wanna open up the envelope to get access to all that paper, that pretty paper. So we're gonna score on 3 sides, and I just cover up that channel of the trimmer there. Kind of cover it up so that the dark is disappearing. And we're cutting off about 1/16 of an inch on all 3 sides. Okay, after you've done that and you've separated your back side and your front side, you're gonna cut this in half, and it's a little over 5.5 inches long. So I'm gonna go a little over 2 3/4, because half of 5.5 is 2 3/4. Thank you so much, Donna. So we're gonna go ahead and slice. And now we have 2 pieces that are inside pieces to cards. This one, we're gonna cut at 1/2 inch. Oops. And if you have to, you can take like a Post-it note to hold it down so it doesn't move on you when you trim. But we'll do 1/2 inch, and we'll do another 1/2 inch. So we have 2 strips that are nice and long. This is gonna get trashed. All of these little things are gonna get trashed, and the scraps that we cut off of this piece are gonna get trashed. So we're gonna cut this at 3 1/4 inches. All of this is gonna go away. And then we're gonna make this go smaller to 5.5. Right now, it is slightly over 5.5 by about 1/8 of an inch. So we're just gonna, again, do that trick where we cover up the channel of the trimmer, the dark area, and slice, and slice. And we just wanna make sure that this is right at the 5.5 inch mark. That's more important than what the measurement is over here. So 5.5, we'll cut. And you're gonna have, and this, if this bugs you, then you might have to turn your card in a different direction, but you're gonna have a little bit of overlapping down here, you see that? But it kind of camouflages in, and it's so small and so slight that you really don't notice it when the card is put together. So these are the pieces that you're gonna get from that envelope. I'm gonna throw away the rest of these. Hot and humid today in Virginia, Helen? All right. Oh, good. Marie is joining along. You're going to open it while you're watching. I love it. Okay, so for this first card, we're going to take our long piece, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to put seal adhesive along the long side of each. Okay, the long side of each of the sides, I should say. And then we're going to line it up here. So we have about 1/8 of an inch showing of the darker. We'll do the same thing on this side. Now, if you choose to do it so it's lined up with the shorter side, you might not get the whole thing in. So you have to actually have that longer side showing on the edge. Okay, because it just makes it. It just makes it there. And now we can take our scissors and we can even everything out. Like that. Okay, so that's done. This piece now can get added with adhesive. I'm just putting 1 in each corner and then 1 in the middle, which should be sufficient. And then I will lay this in the center of the front of my card, like that. That's how I got that decoration for this card. From our supplies, we have this leaf cluster here, and this leaf cluster, and one other. We're gonna use this one here because it will work really well with this largest flower. So then I'm gonna pull out that large flower, and we're going to do like petal curling, okay? Like this. Helene, yes, you know what? When I saw the E at the end, I was like, shoot, I've said it wrong. Thank you for correcting me. Helene like queen, I love that. Okay, so we're gonna go like this all the way around to give a little bit of curl at the end of each petal. So you can see that, a little bit of dimension. And then we're going to pop it up on a dimensional. So I'm going to pull in my larger dimensionals because the kit comes with small ones, but every once in a while you can use the larger ones. And you're going to have that hole in there, but we're going to cover it up. So we popped it on a dimensional, and we're going to set that into the center of our card, like, I don't know, around there. I think that's where I have it. Okay. And then this one, do the same, where we'll give it a little curl, kind of putting my finger and my bone folder together like that, and then I'm turning the paper with the other hand to kind of pull it through and curl it. On the back side, we'll add a little bit of seal. We'll stick it under here, so it's kind of showing between those petals. Push it down. Now we have to cover up that middle part, and we're going to do that with this guy. So there's a flower that looks just like this, and I thought it matched really well with that big flower. And for that, I'm gonna stack 2 glue dots. This is another reason why I'm choosing these glue dots over the ones that come in the kit, because these are slightly thicker. It's almost like they're twice as thick, and so they give a tiny bit of height when you're adding them, adding something to your project. So I've double stacked them so that when I add this in the middle here, there's a slight shadow. Can you see that? There's a slight shadow underneath there. And that covered up the hole and the sticky part. And then we have our happy birthday. This is your easy first card that you'll want to start with, okay? All right, so we're going to put that on with the mini dimensionals. And those, again, are the ones that come in the kit. So you can choose those, or you can choose to cut full dimensionals in half. It doesn't matter. All right, and then that's going to go right under here. And you just want to kind of like make sure that it's centered before you stick it down. There's that. Simple. What's on the inside? Let's open it up. That's where one of these are going to go. So you've used almost the whole envelope. This one we're setting aside. So we're going to put that aside. It's actually going to be used for purple cards later on. You'll see how we do that. So flip it over and add your adhesive to the 4 corners, and then stick that down like that. Okay, there is our first finished card. I'm going to put that over here, and we'll start on the second card. Second card is similar. In fact, let's just take out these 2 pieces, flip them over, add our strips, and there we go. We have all our envelope pieces ready. We're going to go ahead and add our adhesive. You don't have to go all the way down the sides. If you don't want to, you can add just a little bit, or you can even use your glue here, because that's a lot of seal adhesive. Rachel likes to use seal adhesive. I do. I really love my seal adhesive. I didn't like it when I first started using it. Do you guys remember those videos? It's like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. And then I got used to it. Sometimes you just have to use a product for a while, and it all of a sudden works, right? You have to kind of get a feel for it. But we had something called snail adhesive for many years, and that adhesive works slightly different. It looks like it works the same, but it doesn't. So, and I don't even know if I can describe how different it is, but it's just a slight different flick of the wrist or something. Anyways, if you don't like them, just use your tape, your tear and tape. Tear and tape is so easy, right? Okay, we're going to clean up that by trimming all those ends. And we're going to add these to the fronts of 2 more cards. So we'll do 2 at the same time, because they kind of go together as far as pieces. Okay, so that's done. Let's add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in the middle. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in the middle. Curling flowers does give dimension. You are so right. Another little tip I have if you're a beginner is if you can see both sides of the opening on one side or the other side, that's going to be the back. This one is pretty lined up. It's pretty even, so I don't care which side is the front or which side is the back of my card. I'm going to add this. So it's got the same amount of brown going down the sides. Now this one definitely, oh, maybe not definitely. I've just evened it out. All right, that one's gonna go on here. Oh, we're getting a storm coming. Did you hear that, you guys? A little bit of thunder outside. And I think I need to trim this a little bit. Looks like it is a little long here. Okay, and then we'll do the insides. And for the outsides of these, we're gonna be using the circle frame and a few yellow flowers. Also those leaves. So let's grab our circle frame, which is right here. And if you want to, I did this at first and then I decided not to, but if you want to, you can take and use your dauber at this point with your Calypso Coral. This is the one I would recommend for this card. Calypso Coral and the dauber, and then just hold your frame up like this, come inside and press down so that you're giving a little bit of coloring to the inside of the frame, and it will give you a more like dominant version, well, like an edge, right? So you see that edging a little bit more. So you could do that, or you could do just the white. And I decided after I did the whole inside of my frame, I was like, oh, I think I just like the white better. So I flipped it over, because we can choose to do that. So we're gonna flip this over, put some dimensionals on the back, and then we want to have these tiny dimensionals for that. So you're just gonna put them like, I don't know, I don't think we have an even number on here. So just kind of around, spaced out. So about like 4 or 5 apart from each other. And I'll put one here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm spacing it evenly or not. Doesn't matter. Then you peel off the backing. So we're gonna put our frame on first because everything else is kind of gonna go around it, or inside of it, I should say. So we'll take our card base and we'll hold on to it where it's not sticky, and then just lay it down so it looks centered and towards the top. Because I think, well, you could have it towards the bottom too, but I really like the towards the, that's good enough. Towards the top. Okay, next we're going to, and I'm going to move these aside. Next we're going to take this piece and we're going to cut right along the stem so that we have a set of 2 leaves and we have a stem and leaves. We'll save this for another card. We're going to take and use this on this card along with our flower that's a large yellow. We have a smaller medium-sized yellow, and then we have the inside yellow dot piece. And for all these pieces, except maybe the last one, the bottom one, I'm going to curl. So let's take and add this to the inside, probably right around there. Looks good. And now for this one, we're going to take and curl the petals. Lighter aqua. I'm reading what's going on here. We had atoms like that this afternoon too. Oh, I'm missing part of the conversation, you guys. Sorry, trying to dive in here and read what you guys are talking about. Okay, so we have that. It's curled, and then we're going to add that with a glue dot. So I'm going to grab my glue dots. You forget about the brown. The brown is a neutral too, right? So we're going to add that on top. You can see the dimension kind of burst out that way. And then this we'll add with 2 dimensionals again, just to separate it and give it a little bit of shadowing between the layer that it's on top of and itself. And that will go right here. And then for this piece, again, let's do a little bit of curling. And then let's add with our precision tip glue bottle a little bit of glue here. I guess we don't have to go all the way through the stem, but like that. Okay, and this is going to slip under and come out from underneath this flower in that spot. And then for this, we just need to add our sentiment. I'm going to shut the door because we have loud thunder going on. Or not the door, the window. Sorry about that. We have some loud thunder all of a sudden happening. Okay, so we have best wishes, and we're gonna add that with dimensionals. I can stick a big one there, and then a small. I think I'm gonna do another small here. Peel off. So what is everyone doing this weekend? It's Friday. It's Friday. Oh, you had storms. Storms, not atoms. Got it. You were hearing the thunder, I bet. That's funny. Well, I thought maybe you were coming from like a scientific background and you were talking about atoms and molecules and all that kind of stuff. So I was like impressed, but there is that card finished like our other one. Okay, so we have our second card. And then our third one is going to be using the inside of the circle frame. Yeah, of course. We're not going to throw that away. That is like totally usable. In fact, let's open up our Calypso Coral ink. And again, you get the spot in this kit. And let's pull out one of our stamps. The stamp that says, thank you for all you do. And we'll just stamp that towards the bottom of the circle. And you can see it's not even like straight yet, right? But a circle is a circle. So you can even it out no matter which direction you turn it. Let's take, and I have a garbage pile going here that I'm trying to keep from my card pieces. All right, so we're gonna add this, but we're gonna add it with dimensionals. So we're gonna flip it over, and at the bottom where the words are, we'll put one, and kind of like a Y in the up two areas here, okay? Because we're gonna put something in this center area. And you know me, I don't like to double my dimensionals on top of each other when we have a card that we want to put through the mail. So the next dimensional will be here, but on the other side, and it will not cause that bulkiness on your card if you can put your dimensionals in smart areas. Smart dimensionaling. Okay, this one I did have about an inch from the top. Look at the words when you're putting it down so that they are parallel with the top and bottom edges of the cards or perpendicular to the sides. And then we'll take our leaves that look like this and we're gonna trim, because there's just too many in this one. We're gonna trim this one up like that so that we have a set of 2 leaves. And since we have this in our hands, we might as well clean it up, and we'll just round that and we'll hang on to this, okay? This one here is what we're gonna use on this card, along with another one of the yellow flowers, which we're gonna put on straight, but you certainly could curl the petals if you want to. I'll just stick my dimensional on the back side now, and we'll put that in the center. And then let's go ahead and get this ready to add. Let's curl the petals on this one. You have 2 color choices on some of these. You have a side that's colored and you have a white side. So if you really want to, you could just do like all white flowers. You could. Let's say you're getting ready for a wedding or something and the colors don't match. You could use this dauber idea and make the colors match whatever you're doing for your bridal shower or whatever, thank you cards, you know what I mean? Okay, so now we have that curled and we're gonna put that on with glue dots. Coming in very late. Hi, Mary. Lots of options. I'm gonna stick that down like that, so that the petals are going in weird directions, different directions, I should say, not weird. And then I'm gonna put my gold. I have a gold center for this one, and I'll do that twice, 2 glue dots just to give it a little lift, and pop that right there. And that is our center flower. We will now add that with, and I'll just put glue here, a little bit of glue at the base of the leaves, and we'll stick that right about there. Okay, so there is that finished card. Oh, and then the middle. Oh, the inside. The inside, we already did that, didn't we? So there is that finished card. Let me put that over here. We're on card number 4. These next cards are gonna be fun fold cards, and they require this card base, okay? So for these cards, we're gonna bring in they're back here, the purple sheet, and 3 sets of 3. If you stack them on top of each other, you can see that you have large, medium, and small. We're gonna bring in an extra piece of grid paper here, and we're gonna bring in our dauber. Let's flip it over so we're starting with the clean side. And we'll grab our Highland Heather. Again, you get this ink in the kit, and you get the dauber in the kit. We're gonna open that up, put our finger inside, pounce, pounce, pounce. And then what you do is you kind of like put it on your scrap paper just to make sure it's not gonna be really intense when you start coloring with it. Grab a medium, start swirling from the middle, real lightly, and then come out on each petal, like this. And that will give you that gradient look of dark to light. You can go even darker in the middle so that you really see that intense change. Just keep going over an area. You can go all the way to the end of your petals if you don't want that gradient and you want to just have full colored petals. It's up to you. But we did that with that one, and now we need a large one. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Get a little extra off. Start swirling. Start in the middle, because the middle parts can be covered up anyways, right? Right exactly in the middle. So if you find out you don't like how it looked, well, at least your most intense color, where it would have been the most prominent, can be covered up by the center of a flower. And then we'll keep on swirling. And I think because this is a larger piece, I'm going to have to add a little bit more ink onto it and progressively go out. Larger piece. Like that. Okay, so we have two. That one got a little more intense in purple. Maybe I'll try and make these even. So this is where you get to be artistic. This is where you get to have your technique. Again, the kit comes with ink, but it doesn't come with stamps. So you can do that with however many petals you want to. In fact, we're going to do it with the purple ones too. So let's finish up this last white one. Just again, swirling. Swirling. This one got really intense with color. Sorry about that. Like that. And then with the white ones, I'm just going to leave white. I'm going to have a set of 3 whites. And then I'm going to use the purple on the purple. So you get these purple petals too. And so let's just add a little bit of color in the middle of those, just to give them a bit of gradient color, like that. And that's a little rough because we're going fast. There's that one. And it makes kind of a fun little design on your grid paper too. If you noticed, you're stenciling at the same time. It looks like we have, I don't know, a bunch of windmills in the background or something. Be careful not to go too hard or too rough, because really it's just held together in the center where that, you know, that tiny little circle is. So you kind of have to hang on to 2 petals at the same time to make sure that it's not going to tear. And then the last one. All right. For these cards, we're going to use the purple base. And we're going to swap these out. This one's going to go over here. Sorry, I thought we were using that. We're going to use this one here, and we're going to cut it down even more. So we've got 1 leaf, 2, and you can trim that if you don't want that little pokey part there, and then 3, and we'll just trim that to make it look clean too. So we have 3 leaves. We're going to set that aside. We won't close it up yet because we're going to stamp with it. We have these flowers that we're going to layer. So for these flowers, 1, 2, 3, we want to start with our biggest ones on the bottom. So 1, 2, I'll put that on the gray area of our grid paper, 2, and 3. So we have a purple, we have a white, and we have a purple colored white one. Then for our medium, we're going to go white. Then this one will go on to this one here, purple. And this one will go on to here, just so that we have different combinations. And then the last combination, We already have a white there, we have a white there, so this white will go here, and this purple will go here, and this one will go here. And now that we have our flowers stacked, we can go ahead and put them together. I'm just gonna take and put glue down. Actually, no, we're not gonna put them together yet because it'll be easier if we do that after the card has been put together. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these aside. We'll bring in this base here, and we're gonna trim that so that we're cutting off a 1/2 of an inch, a 1/2 of an inch, and a 1/2 of an inch. Then what we have remaining here is about 7 inches. 7 inches divided by 3, well, 6 inches divided by 3 is 2. An inch divided by 3, you get about 1/4 of an inch, so it's 2 1/4, plus you have another quarter left, so a little over 2 1/4. We'll divide it out pretty evenly. So we're gonna go to 2 1/4 plus a little bit, okay? So there's that. And we'll go to 2 1/4 plus a little bit, and there's that. So now we have 3 pieces that are about the same. They don't have to be exactly the same. Helene's saying you could use a thin marker or ink on a thin brush to make lines radiating out. Yes, you could. You totally could. If you get that idea that she's saying, you could take and put little tiny lines on here just to give it even more texture, more realism. Are those pansies? Is that what kind of flower that is? I am not real smart with names of flowers, but I love that idea. Thanks for sharing that. So for these 3 pieces, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tear about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch off of one side. You're pulling the cardstock towards you, and what that's doing, if you're pulling in the same direction each time, is it's creating this white core to be exposed on your sheet. That is one of the big bonuses to cardstock in the kits, is having that white core. Here's another one. So we're gonna tear. We're gonna do this with all 3. The one that's at the bottom that I haven't torn yet has a score line in it. If that bugs you, then you could add a score line into all 3 of these to make them uniform. I don't care. I think that score line looks kind of nice there, and I'm gonna in fact leave it on the left side and tear on this side. Do you see that score line on there? Yeah, you do. Okay. And you kind of want to tear straight so that you accidentally get a little bit of movement in there. You don't want to do it too purposely, otherwise you're going to have like a zigzag kind of look going on. So try to tear straight so that you get that natural tear line look. Okay, so that's what we have. And then these are going to get flipped over so that we see the white side of them. We'll flip these over so that we can put adhesive along the straight edges. And you're gonna add these 2 together so that you're just grabbing about 3/4 of it, and you're exposing 1/8 of an inch of white. Okay, so there's that. We'll do that with these other ones. And again, if you'd rather use glue, you can, okay? Oops, oh, I did that wrong. Oh, Rachel. Okay, so how's everyone doing? I'm gonna first use my finger because the adhesive eraser does work with this, but this seal adhesive is a little bit gummier than what we were talking about before, the snail adhesive, and you kind of have to get it rolled up onto itself first before you can use that seal adhesive or that adhesive eraser. Otherwise, it's really hard to get off. It takes a long time. Okay, so we got that going. Now we're gonna bring in the adhesive eraser. And we'll just go right down this row here like that. Try to get that all out of there. And every once in a while, you're gonna get a little bubble of glue, and then go ahead and just grab it off of the adhesive eraser. This is good. Rachel makes mistakes. Yay. Oh my goodness sakes. Yeah, just peel it off and then collect your glue clumps so you can throw them in the trash. Did you guys saw that comment too? You were like, wait, don't put adhesive there. Okay, hopefully it's all clean. Just a couple other areas that I can feel a little bit. But yeah, if you use the finger trick first, you can kind of get most of that gumminess to be in a concentrated area on your card. One more there. Flip it over. All right. Put the adhesive here and add it to here. And we may have to do a little bit more adhesive eraser because I can see a couple other sticky spots. That's okay. We get to spend more time together. Aww. I show you what not to do, yes. This is a great tool. It's in my favorite extras. I better list that in my supplies too. I forget to list this once in a while. This is a really simple tool that saves your butt once in a while when you are crafting. All right. That's pretty good. Kinda. This is sticky stuff, you guys. But it's better that I did that instead of glue because I would not have been able to get that off as easily. I would have had to let that dry and then take it off. Okay, we'd have just a couple more. I feel like I just did this in another video recently. Okay, there's that one. And then the last one, adhesive here. And then we will go onto this piece. Yay, we have them done. Okay, after that, these are gonna get added to your Z-fold. But if you are a person who's made Z-fold cards before, you know that you should add the inside layers to a Z-fold before the outside layers. So we're gonna bring these pieces back in and flip them over. Now we have white layers for the inside of our purple cards. You can certainly use this side if you like to have more colorful cards. I love the monochromatic look of this though, so I'm gonna go ahead and have the white layer showing. So we're gonna center that onto all three of these cards. One. Debbie goes, my adhesive remover has seen a lot of action. more times than I can count. Oh, Maria, yeah. It's a good tool. We love it. It doesn't look the prettiest. It's kind of like the chamois, right? You know, you get ink on it when you're cleaning stamps. And it doesn't look pretty, but it sure does a good job of what it needs to do. Then this one goes right here. Alrighty. So we have our inside layers done. What we're gonna do with this is we're gonna add adhesive along the back, straight edge. And then we're gonna lay it. Actually, we don't have to lay it next to it because it's gonna go from top to bottom. Then we're gonna put adhesive here, right up next to that fold line, because even though they might overlap, I want it to be tight here and I want it to be tight on this edge. And I'm gonna fold this down flat like this, and then I'm gonna add this piece so that I'm looking at the under layer, the layer right there, and I'm gonna cover it and stick it down. So my white layer that's underneath here when the card is closed can't be seen, but when it's open, there it is. Ta-da! Okay, let's do that with both of these other ones. One strip down the side and one strip here. Flip it open. Oops, sorry. Okay, and we're gonna go here. Like that. And then the last one. It is a very handy tool. That, and then we'll go like this. Trying to read your comments as I'm working here. I really try hard when I don't have Trisha to look up and make sure that I get questions answered. So if you guys have questions and I haven't answered them yet, just ask them again. I promise I will see them, hopefully, put them in capital letters or put emojis next to them. Those are the comments that I tend to see. They stand out more. All right, so now that we have that done on all three cards, we're gonna add our flowers. And for our flowers, it doesn't matter what order we add them in. We're gonna flip we're gonna flip them over. So we're gonna add, this one is not colored, so we can put it wherever. We're gonna put a dimensional on the back, and notice how that dimensional kind of goes beyond. It's okay because we're gonna be layering up this flower. So the dimensionals does not have to fit perfectly on the back side. We are going to add that one. I'm just gonna try to replicate these, that my photos look the same. I know, I'm crazy. Okay, so we're gonna put that one here, about there. And then we're gonna add this piece with glue dot, with a glue dot. So I'll open this up, stick a glue dot on the back, and this glue dot, by the way, is just like the perfect size to fit on there. And so if it peels away a little bit, that's okay. We're gonna stick that down here. Trying to make it like my photos. And then this last one. Oh, and I should have curled the petals. Let me curl the petals on this. Curl, curl, curl. Can you curl the petals afterwards, Rachel? Why, yes, you can. Before we stick this down then, what you'll do is you'll just come in, you'll lift it, and you'll carefully pull it and curl it. Holding it down in the middle as much as you can. But yeah, it's harder. It's harder. Curl it beforehand. And then we'll stick this down like that. Okay, that is my third card. The next one we're gonna do is this one here. Let's flip it over, put our dimensional on the back side, add this to this spot here. Take our petals, curl, curl, curl. It's not gonna look exactly like my photos. I just realized that because I did the coloring differently, right? Doesn't matter. And then we'll grab a glue dot, peel it away, stick it down. So I'm not even looking at my finished cards anymore. Baby boy turned 28 on the 7th. Oh, Heidi, that's so hard. I know. Why do they have to grow up? Why can't they just stay toddlers? Okay, there's that. And then the last one here is this one. Now you can curl the petals of the bottom layer too if you want to. I just did not on mine, on any of my flowers. I kept the bottom layer flat and only curled the layers that sat on top. Grab that glue dot, stick it down. Oh, and this is a white layer. Curl, curl, curl. So all of these flowers are gonna get the gold center. And we'll do the same thing where we double the glue dot to make it lifted. Stick it on, press it, pull it with the glue dot, stick it down again, push it, lift it, and now you have two glue dots under there to create a little bit of a shadow underneath that center. It's hard to see with a curled flower, but believe me, it's there. How did I choose early espresso? Okay, so what I do when I come up with these card ideas is I look at the card colors that are in the kit, and I almost went with garden green, and then I thought, no, there's too much green on here. Green and other colors, colors, tend to overpower cards a bit. Like I really like white and black for backgrounds or neutral for backgrounds, unless I have a very, very white layer on top, right? And then the colored background makes more sense to me. So because we had so many different color layers, it just had too much green showing, especially with these Z-fold cards. There was just a lot of green back there. So then I said, okay, I want something deeper and darker. I looked at purple next, Gorgeous Grape, because Highland Heather is the purple in here. And I thought, well, Gorgeous Grape is like a darkened version of Highland Heather. So I then looked at that, and then I realized that that wouldn't work with all of my cards. I have some that are purple and some that are coral and some that are yellow, and the green was the only color that was constant within each card. So I went with Early Espresso. I didn't want to go black because I thought that was a little too harsh for springtime cards, But the brown, oh my, when I put that together with the gold foil, it just really gave a nice warmth to the card. For these leaves here, you're just gonna tuck them wherever you want. You can tuck them, you know, like, I don't know. Here, I'll put this one down here, like the same way that I did this one. So you can have a couple that are like that. You can have another one that's like this. So you can put your little leaves wherever they feel like they balance out your card best. Okay, next we're gonna take a card base that is gonna get cut up for the other cards. And they've already cut it. So it's the pink one. The pink one starts like this. Okay, can you see that? It starts like this. You're gonna cut it in half at the score line. Then you're gonna take and cut here so that this bottom portion is 3 inches by 4 1/4. We're gonna save that for our very last card. We're gonna use these two, which I'll tell you the dimensions in just a minute, but those are gonna go for the next 3 sets of cards. Next 3 set of cards. And this one here, we're flipping over and we're gonna use the back side, the white side. So let's take and trim that. We're gonna do a 1/2 inch, another 1/2 inch. Oops, come on out of there. Another 1/2 inch. We're gonna do 1 1/4 inches. We're gonna rotate this and we're gonna do 1 1/4 inches. So that we have 2 squares that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. And we have this rectangle. These 3 we're using on this card. Let's lay those down. Let's bring in our Highland Heather ink again. And this time the stamp that I'm using is the one that says just a little note. I'm gonna stamp that one in the center, and because this is, I bet you guys are having a hard time seeing this too. Let's go like this. Better? We're gonna add that to the center of these 2 squares. It's the perfect size, 1 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. And then this one is pretty large, but it works. We're gonna stamp this happy birthday in the Highland Heather color on that larger one. We'll close this for now. We're gonna add these, and they're all added with a little bit of seal. Just a little bit, not too much. This one we will add in the middle, like that. So precious. So that's the first card. And then we have this one where I said, oh, well, why don't we put it over here? So we'll stick it up there. Kind of just a different look, right? And then we have this one. And you could cut down another little piece and do just a note, but I thought, why not use this whole thing, tuck it under, bring it to this white edge here, stick it down about halfway through, and it just kind of gives a nice little division in that card like that. So there's the third card. We're gonna go over a little bit, you guys. This is gonna be a little bit longer than an hour. Let's take these 3 pieces now. Let's stack them. And we're gonna do 2 with the Highland Heather and the stamp that says, happy birthday. And we will stamp 2 of them right in the center. Actually, no, I forgot. Gotta trim these. Gotta trim these. Hang on. These are not quite done yet. The brown does give them a richness, a warmth too, right? All right, so we're gonna go to 2 1/4. And the reason why is because, where did that sheet go? Back here. Do you remember I talked about these in the beginning? These pieces are, oh, they're 2 and 1/8. Okay, so we're gonna go to 2 1/8. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, 2 1/8. So we're going to 2 1/8, and we're trimming all of these to that size because I want them to be similar in the width for when we create a golden shadow underneath. So first cut, then stamp. I'm so glad you guys like these. And you don't mind going over. Thank you so much, Helene. I appreciate you. If anybody needs to leave, they can. You can always leave. And then come back when you want to finish it. And have you ever done this? Have you ever played somebody on high speed? So you can increase the speed of which someone's talking on a video. It's so funny. I do it all the time to make sure that I'm getting my education videos done quickly and, you know, training, education, all that. Okay, so it's 2 are going to be in Happy Birthday. And then the other one is going to be in Calypso Coral. And that one is the one that says, and where did I put, oh, here it is. That one is the one that says Sending Love, because that's also nice and long. Let's bring that stamp set back in so you can see. It shows Happy Birthday, just a little note for those purple ones, Sending Love. Thank you for all your do was on our 3rd card that we did. So we're using them. I'm going to keep that over here, keep it open because we'll probably need that again. And let's go ahead and layer these now. So we have 1. I have to bring this over here. 1, 2, 3. And for these, I think it's best if you add just a little bit of glue at the base so that it will stick onto our gold layer without having any stickiness come out from beyond. So just right at the base of the word on the back side, flip it over and layer. And we're creating a little bit of like a golden shadow, right? There's our golden shadow on each of these. And then this last one, same thing, just along the bottom. And that's going to go on here. And those are the words that I don't speak, the languages I don't speak. All right, so we have used our word layers in a different way as kind of like just a paper layer. For these cards, we're going to start with our yellow base, and we're going to cut it in half, right down the middle of that score line, right there. 1 for one card, 1 for another, and then these 2 pieces are going to go on the last. What did I cut these 2 pieces at? Well, I trimmed 2 inches off one, which left me with 2 1/4 for the other side. So I have 2 and 2 1/4. Let's do that with this yellow one. 2 and 2 1/4. We're going to do something different with this one though. But let's pull these over. Let's grab our Z-fold base. We're going to put adhesive on the smaller one on all 4 corners. We're going to take and open this up and lay this piece down so it's covering up all the way to the edge. We want it right up to the edge there. We don't want to see any brown along there, but it's okay if we see brown here. We have a little bit of like an 1/8 of an inch showing there. And then we're going to fold that down and we're going to put this piece underneath so that we're getting an 1/8 of an inch on this side. Just 4 corners. Thank you, Pat. How are you? I increase the speed on videos all the time, especially if I've missed the entire live. Might as well, right? We got to make use of our time. We got to be efficient. Okay, so there's that. I'm glad I gave the idea of the golden glow there too. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so that piece is almost done. We're going to grab one of the 2 speckly foil layers, and we're going to add this with dimensionals to just this half here. When you're doing a Z-fold card, you don't want it to stick to the other half. So we're going to be very wise about this. We're going to flip it over. We're going to put a dimensional here, a dimensional here, Then we're going to put it right up next to it so we can see where we should put dimensionals here. One there and one there. Peel off the backings. So we're going to have 4 corners. Right now it looks like they're all really close together, but when we flip this whole thing over and slide it and center it and stick it down, you can see now that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all my dimensionals are in place and nothing is going beyond. The next thing that we're going to do is add our happy birthday, and that's going to be added with just a couple regular size dimensionals. Oops, 1 and 2. And the backings are off. We're going to add this about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom and about 1/2 inch from the left side. So about there. Then we're going to take the long stem piece. Here's the long stem piece from the kit. We'll add glue to the back side. So we'll just come in and do a little bit through here. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to make sure that every little main section is kind of held down. You want to get that tip down there for sure. The top part, if it's not glued, it's okay because your flower will hold it. And then this is going to get added right at the bottom. And we're going to follow that stem so it stays fairly straight and then starts to curve towards the middle. Fairly straight, and then it curves towards the middle. If you want to, you can curl the ends of these leaves. I chose not to on the tinier 2 pieces here. Those are going to just get added flat. For this one, we're going to bring in this sheet here that has the, oh gosh, these are 6-petal white flowers. There's 2 of them, and I think in the directions of the kit, you only use 1. I think you actually get an extra one, but we used them all because you get 3 extra if you think about it. So we're going to take these and do that same coloring that we did before with our purple. If I can use my fingers to pick that up, bring our color back in, Highland Heather, pounce, and start swirling, just to get a little light layering of purple in there. And you'll do a neater job than I'm doing. And then the next one. Like that. I'm going to rotate it. Sometimes I'm heavier handed on one side than I am on the other. Okay, and then if I layer this on top, oh yeah, that works. Okay, there are centers in here that you can pop out if you want to. It's up to you. In fact, those centers, when you pop them out and line them up with another piece, there's like a little a point on one side of the notch, like a notch on the side of the square, I should say, or the shape. And it helps you to line up your flowers for when you're doing the kit. I wasn't paying attention to those when I did mine. So again, you can take these out or you can leave them in, doesn't matter. We're gonna cover them up anyways. And I think I'm going to use my lighter one on top, grab my dimensional, put it down, and this one, again, you could curl your petals if you want to on your bottom layer, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna add it right here. And you see how I didn't cover up the stem on the tippy top here? It's okay because I have this other one that's going to rotate when it gets added. It's gonna cover up the gaps. Curling the petals, grabbing my glue dots. And I probably have to put 2 on this one because I just took away my center spot there, which kind of widened the gap a bit. Okay, and that's gonna go on top here and cover up where that stem was showing. And then the last part on this card is going to receive the one of those yellow little flower centers, which we will stick on a glue dot twice. 1, 2. Aren't these colors beautiful? I know, right? Okay, so there is that card. And this is where you would write on the card on the yellow layer, right? Just be careful when you're doing Z-folds to write below the overlapping layer. So you'd only be able to like write here and not on the edges. Make sense? But you can see the card from the inside and the outside. So there is that card. And the next one is where we're going to do another yellow, but we don't have any more sponging for this one. So for this one, we're going to cut our yellow layer a little bit differently. We're going to cut at 1 3/8. 1 3/8, and then leave this one nice and wide. Do the same steps for, very sloppy. I was very sloppy when I added that. Open it up so you can see where you're going and cover up that brown on all 3 sides so that you are right up to the edge. Flatten it down. Then you're going to take and add this to the inside. And when we add that, you can see it's going to overlap it, but you can even out your 2 sides. See how I'm doing that? I'm evening them out. You can open it up, you can stick it down, and that is a skinnier little front. For this, we're going to also cut this in half. This piece here measures 4 3/4 inches. That means we're going to cut at 2 3/8 to get 2 different pieces here. We have 2 different layers, one for one card, one for the other. This piece is going to get added flat to this. We're not doing dimensionals this time, we're going to add flat. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to add my seal. I'm going to lay this up against here, and I'm going to add more seal right to that edge. So it doesn't go beyond, right? It's right in that spot. And then I'm going to flip it over, center everything, and stick it down. That's going to go here. I'm going to take my happy birthday, put that on with dimensionals, a couple dimensionals. 1, 2. Thanks for the reminder, Lily. Thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Yes, thank you so much. We're going to add that here. So there's our happy birthday. We have a couple stems left. We have these pieces here. I'm going to use this one, and we'll take our glue, put it on the back side of these leaves and along the bottom of the stem. I can hold on to the top of the stem, and I'm going to tuck this so that it's coming out of the birthday area, going right through the center, right up through the center, okay? So it's the base of it's hidden underneath the birthday. We'll grab our yellow flower, and I think I did on this one, I guess I lied. This one I did do color curling of the petals on the base layer. We're gonna put that on with dimensional. The yellow and brown is so warm, isn't it? It's so pretty. And we'll just add that here on the top. This layer also gets the curl. Are you loving these? I'm so glad. Oh, yay. You're going to buy it tonight. Woohoo! Get it with your free shipping, you guys. Don't forget, free shipping is going on now through tomorrow. So take advantage of it. In the US, it's $75 minimum order to get the free shipping. And there is a link to shopping through me. If you don't have a demonstrator, you can click on the shop button within the description of my video. Okay, we are going to go ahead and add 2 glue dots again to lift this center a little higher. Stick that here like that. And that is that finished card. So fun, you guys. We have 2 left. Now we're using the pink layers. For the pink layers, it is kind of a plain paper. So if you wanted to, you could do like an embossing step here. Just give this a little bit of a texture if you want to. In fact, let's just do that. Now I told you you don't need any other supplies, so I will show you my finished card without the embossing, but let's pick an embossing folder. I didn't even have, like, I'm doing this on the spur of the moment, you guys. I'm not even sure. Let's just grab a few of these. These are my current ones. And everything falls. What do we have here? Ooh, that's kind of pretty. I don't know, I kind of want to do that. Is that too distracting? Or we could just do leaves. but I kind of want to do the flowers. Is that too much? Let's try it. Rachel's going rogue. She's trying something that she wasn't planning on doing. But I don't have my supply list done, so I can, because I can still determine what supplies we're going to be using and what we're not. This is a 3D folder, by the way. It says 3D on it, which means the sandwich that we will use for embossing this paper is going to be our base plate, our embossing folder with the paper, and one of these things that fell in here, a gray plate. There's my gray plate. Okay, we got our gray plate. I'm gonna take these guys and put them in here in different spots. Let's put one there. And actually, you know what? I think I like it this way better. We'll go here and here. We can go wherever we want. That's the direction I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna go seam first, base plate, embossing folder, thick embossing folder with your paper inside, and then the gray plate on top. Crank it through. We're gonna have another idea. I'm gonna take more photographs. So now we have this fun texture. Oh, I like that. Set this back here, get it out of the way. That embossing folder is called the Floral Spray. It's a newer one. All right, so we're gonna take and flip these because I want the smaller one on the top layer. Okay, let's turn it over and add our seal adhesive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't get very close to the edge there. And let's open it and connect that right up to the brown edge. We're leaving just 1/8 of an inch exposed on the left-hand side here. Flip this over, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1 in the middle. Oh, you know what? It's gonna be harder to write on this one because it's you know, embossed now. That's okay. There's the flaw, Rachel, because you didn't think ahead of time, Rachel. But someone will have to just say their little message, I don't know, among the bumps. Just write your words there. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna use this piece and we're gonna actually stick it, oh gosh, now I wanna stick it in the middle. Can you stick it there? Let's put it there, because this space here is writable. This right here, this is where you could sign the card. So I'm gonna shift it. My other one is not that far over, or in the middle. It's over this way more. We're going with it. And we're gonna put it on dimensionals. So flip it over, put your dimensionals on. It's a good thing Trisha's not here, or she'd really be like, oh my gosh, Rachel, I gotta go. We're going over the hour, ugh. It's Friday night, we're relaxing. Okay, peeling off the backings. Sticking this whole thing down right here. And there's where my dimensionals sit, right here. So I can put another dimensional here with my flower. I have a flower. And curl the petals. Stick a dimensional back there and put that on right about here. We're building the flower down this time because we don't have a sentiment piece that it needs to connect with on this portion of it. So for here, I'm putting the flower, and then we can adjust this to be higher or lower or wherever we want. If you want it to, it can even float in the card, or it can touch the bottom as a base. I think I'm gonna have it up higher on this one because we're going different than the other card that I made. The other one, I have it touching the bottom. Put a little glue and a little bit down here. Let's flip it over and stick it down. Then we have this little layer, this one here, this tiny little one. Again, curl. And we'll use our glue dots. Is anybody making these with me as we're doing this? You know you can, but what I would recommend is you do it after the live is done and you stop and start. You fast forward when Rachel's talking too much. We'll put this on with 2 glue dots. 1, 2. So I do pre-recorded videos once in a while also. In fact, I do that for my exclusives that I share every month. Those are quicker videos because you can like make things fast forward on those. So if you're not a fan of lives to watch Rachel make mistakes, then you can choose to watch those kinds of videos. But I used to do all my paper pumpkins pre-recorded. I no longer do that. I mean, I have done them, but we're gonna set this one. Okay, because this is shifted over more than my original. See, this is my original. And I shifted this more so we have a smooth area to sign our card. I think what I'm gonna do, ouch. Let's see here. We'll just do a little overlap. Does that sound okay? We'll overlap those spots. That looks okay. In fact, I kind of like it better. I don't know, which one do you guys like better? So there is where you can sign. You only have a small spot. And on this one, you have an even smaller spot. But that was the idea for that card. And now we have one last and a little bonus project. So let's pull in the last pieces. The last pieces are this frame. And be careful when you pull it out of here because it's fragile. You could even use this piece if you wanted to. You know, you could take this and cut around it, cut straight through here and use that as a framing layering piece. I opted not to do that, but you could. We're gonna flip it over, grab our mini dimensionals and stick those down. Your kit also comes with these little adhesive strips that you can put on the back of your frame, which I think that's what they're intended for. So if you want to, you could do that instead of putting a whole bunch of mini dimensionals back here. Sorry about that. That's the problem with lives. You just can't go fast enough. Can't fast forward. Okay, so we have those on. And now we'll peel off the backings. Now for this card, I'm also gonna go a little bit different because I wanna show you a bonus idea. And you get 2 little baggies with your kit. So you can only do this bonus idea twice, not 3 times, but twice. And because we're using the little tiny bags. What bags, Rachel? Well, your adhesives and your little daubers, they come in these little bags. Okay, let's set that. Actually, let's do this piece first. Let's add this first. This gets added with seal adhesive, nice and flat, in the middle with the speckles kind of flowing upward like that. So remember, this one is 3 inches wide. That's how we cut it. And then you're just gonna frame it. You're gonna set your frame right around it. And it should have a nice even look all the way around. Your thank you is another sentiment that came with this. And you do have a few little spots where dimensionals will fit, but you might have to cut even your mini dimensionals in half to get this whole thing to sit right. So let's do a couple little skinny ones here. Right there. 1 and 2. Peel off. So for my finished card that I shared with you at the beginning, I had 2 flowers that were on this. If you want to do the bonus idea, you can only include 1 flower. So this card will do with just 1 flower. I'm going to set my thank you down here. It's going to overlap slightly the side, the left side, and the bottom. See, there's the overlaps. And then we're going to grab this flower. And let's do a dimensional on the back side. Do I have one left? I do. We'll place this down and we'll just kind of like shove it into the right corner a little bit kind of upward. This one here, we'll curl up the petals. You like the embossed card better? Thank you. Love it. So it must have rained and now it's like humid in the house, you guys. I'm starting to sweat. Oh, I didn't mean to do two. That was silly of me. But that's okay, it has a little bit more separation. Then we're gonna take and put this one on with two. 1, 2. And we have another set of leaves somewhere. I'm looking around. Oh, there they are. I found them. This one right here. We hadn't used that one yet. So that one is gonna go right here. And the inside of our card and the second flower, we're stealing. So we don't have an inside yet. Here is the other card. This is the finished version that I showed you at the beginning. I did do the dauber technique on the flowers that were remaining. We're gonna do this really quick. So there were flowers that were remaining. I did the dauber technique to pinken them a little bit more, darken them. Stuck that there, put the leaves there, and on the inside I have this rectangle, where this rectangle comes from the inside of your frame. So you can take your frame, oops, where are we? We're having issues again, hang on. Come on, internet. So the frame I scored and folded in half. Then I stamped my little cute creature, the snail, on the front, stamped hi friend, and put my extra flower there. So how do we put a layer on the inside of this card? This is where you can grab your white cardstock, not really cardstock, paper, but you have envelopes that you can grab from your stack of white envelopes that you're supplementing your kit with, and just cut a rectangle from one of them to go on the inside for an inside layer of that. So this card versus that card, because I did it that way, I have these extra pieces, I can fold these, and in your kit, you get, where'd they go? Here they are. The little baggies that all your stuff come in, you get 2 of them. So you can take and put some goodies in there, staple this shut, and give somebody a little bag of goodies with the cute little snail on there. How stinking cute is that? So I will try to put something in there tonight, take a picture of it because I haven't done that yet, and show you that idea so you can see something fun in there. Gosh, maybe a sheet of dimensionals. We'll put something in there. But that is the version that you can do if you're going to lessen the flowers and use an envelope for the inside of this. And then we had these 2 versions, right? Okay, let's just bring out all the other cards. This is an 1.5 hour live. It's an 1.5 hour, Rachel. Oh my gosh. So you can get 10 cards from the supplies of 3. 10 cards from the supplies of 3. And even a bonus project if you want to. It's crazy, crazy awesome. Let's see, what have I not told you about? The Shaded Petals kit is new. It just debuted this month. We are on the 12th of June, so I just got it a couple days ago. If you haven't purchased it yet, you can peek at it in the online store. I'll get links to the products in there soon. And then we also have the Washes of Gratitude kit that just debuted this month, a few days ago. The Wild Bunch stamp set also debuted a few days ago. It's the June product of the month. And again, you can get it with a $75 order for $5 extra. So you just add that and then your order is like 80 or more, right? Once your order is 75 or more today and tomorrow, you can get free shipping in the US. It depends on which area you're in. The amounts may differ depending on your market, but in the US, it's a $75 amount. Also, when you purchase from me, you get a link to sorry about that, All-Star videos. And if your order is 50 or more, you get the monthly All-Star video, which comes with 12 classes that are exclusive, project ideas, 12 different project ideas that are exclusive. You also earn a loyalty point for every 50 that you spend through me. When you reach 10 loyalty points, you get to cash them in for a stamp set of your choice. So how awesome is that? And then if you order from any demonstrator, you also earn rewards with, if you're opted into the rewards program with a $75 order, let's say you do that for free shipping, you get $7.50 to spend on a future order. It's like Kohl's, shopping through Kohl's, if you know what that store is. So you shop, you earn the coupon, and then you come back and spend it another time you shop. So stamp and storage. See the lovely cases of things that I have back here. This is all stamp and storage stuff. And they are also having a sale right now through the 15th. 15% off pretty much everything and free shipping. And then they're having like, oh, what do they call it? I forgot. There's like these flash sale, not flash sales, but bonus days. So like one day they'll have like a certain product for 20% off instead of 15% off. So you'll want to check out that link too. There's there will be, if there isn't now, a link to Stamp and Storage shopping. I think that's it. So thank you, everybody. We did it in an hour and a half. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with me. I hope that you got some food while you were watching. Time flies when we're having fun, right? And that's it. So next week, I will be live on Tuesday instead of Wednesday because we have our garage sale next week. And I hope to see you at 11 a.m. on Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Thank you all for joining me. And now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.